First program I wrote was called The Plot to Overthrow Christmas. And that came about quite by accident. I was busy in my office one day when a publicity man who was attached to my unit came in and said, I noticed that your program falls on Christmas Day. Are you going to have a special Christmas program? I said, well, yes, maybe I'll do a Christmas show. Call it The Plot to Overthrow Christmas. And he said, are you kidding? I said, that's as good a title as any. And now I was stuck. I was committed to write a program about the plot to overthrow Christmas, and I did. It began with the line, have you heard about the plot to overthrow Christmas? Well, gather ye now from Maine to the Isthmus of Panama.
And listen to the story of the utter inglory of some glory-goings-on in hell. Now, it happened in Hades, ladies and gentlemen. It happened in hell that the fiends held a meeting. The fiends held a meeting for the purpose of defeating Christmas. As I was saying, in this Stygian grot, the notables of Hades hatched a plot. And what went on in that sulphurous hole we'll soon pick up by remote control. Of course, such a pickup is not made quickly. As a matter of fact, it's done rather trickily. You mustn't mind if it sounds erratic.
That's merely intraterrestrial static. Don't be surprised if you're deafened by thunder, just as we start on our journey under.
Sir, if you please, my apologies. I would not have intruded upon your recital if the matter were not so terribly vital.
The most important matter in the world is piddling when it comes to be compared to Nero's fiddling.
And now what you say may be very true, but I have been sent here to summon you to a great mass meeting of tortured souls down in the grot of the flaming coals.
A meeting? What for? What's the big idea? Why can't a fella have some peace down here? Why are we meeting? Who's on the spot?
We're meeting in order to fabricate a plot against the festival that mortal men can comfort in and gladden in again and again.
I say that we should all give pause to think about this Santa Claus. He is the man behind the scenes, the symbol of what Christmas means. If we could rub him out, old friend, our troubles would be at an end. Just think how it would tickle us to liquidate St. Nicholas.
The first program that brought me to national prominence was one that followed by just 4 weeks the plot to overthrow Christmas. And that program was called They Fly Through the Air. And it had to do with my outrage over civilian bombing, which in that time was novel. Alas, since those days, civilian bombing has become routine. Then it dealt with the bombing of civilians in Mussolini's war of imperial conquest against poor little Ethiopia. And it was triggered by a book written by one of the sons of Mussolini, Vittorio Mussolini, who had been a bombardier in that war, and who, describing the attack on some cavalrymen, added the line, it was exceptionally good fun. That made me so angry that in white heat, I wrote a program.
Assume it is morning. You know what mornings are. You've seen thousands of them. They rise out of the east, huge as the universe, and stand in the sky till noon. Oh, you've seen all kinds of them. Some come up dirty-faced, as though they had spent the night in a gutter between two stars. Some bluster, brandishing big winds. Some are all innocent, surprised to be playing morning to such a little earth. All right. So it is morning. It is morning on a level field, still wet with dew. A field once used for haying, flown over at one time by birds going north or birds going south to build homes. Here, where last year stood the windrows of the hay, is now an aviary of such birds as God had never dreamed of when he made the skies. Look close, you will see one now. They are wheeling it out of the hangar carefully. Oh, do be careful, gentlemen. It is so dumbly delicate. The million dervishes ready to whirl in its motors, the guns fore and aft, the sights, the fins, the fuselage, the bomb racks, and the bombs. Do not jar them. Do not jar them. Please be gentle, gentlemen. This bomber is an instrument of much precision.
I was pretty angry when I wrote They Fly Through the Air, and every time I think about it, I get mad all over again. This was a bold piece of radio in February 1939, and it's to the credit of CBS that no move was made to censor it.
Norman Corwin suddenly, overnight, became a celebrity. And this was because reviewers started to mention his name.
I was startled one morning and delighted to find somebody knocking on my door with a copy of Time magazine, and there was my picture in it.
Charles Kuralt once described himself as, quote, one of the maybe 500,000 kids who grew up on radio and was influenced very strongly by the words of Norman Corwin. But who influenced Corwin? Certainly not anyone in the mass media, because he was there first. The soaring language and powerful metaphors of the Old Testament influenced Corwin, as did a love of poetry. Corwin's greatest gift may be that he had the guts to wear his heart as well as his genius on his sleeve. And Norman Corwin's great heart in all his work beat for us all.